Secretary of State John Kerry is keen to show Iran that he stands by the nuclear deal by helping them avoid some other rules. After the Iranian foreign minister wrote to Kerry expressing some concerns over new restrictions in the visa waiver program, Kerry wrote back suggesting he could help Iran skirt the new law. Here to weigh in is Jasser. He is founder and president of American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Zuhdi, why is Kerry giving Iran a pass on this?
It's just more of the same appeasement. I mean, they're doing anything possible to bend over and make this deal go through. And they shake, Kerry shakes in his knees every time Iran says, well, what's happening in this waiver program? I mean, I hope Americans understand. So far, all of the threats of terrorism against our Western homelands have been related to Sunni terror. And the reason Shia terror from Hezbollah and others have not attacked us is because of the sanctions, is because of the limited travel, etc. So the lifting of these travel visas requirements, if you will, is going to unleash the threat of terrorism from, if you think of Iran, think of Assad and its genocide against its people. Think of death to America. Think of Holocaust denial. Think of the American prisoners, our soldiers that are in prison there, and yet we're talking about waiving. And by the way, he told them in the letter he would just waive a requirement that our government had already initiated. So he's talking about bypassing the normal Homeland Security requirements.
Well, and Zuhdi, pull back a minute and just tell us, by the way, this is what he said. I'm also confident this is a letter to the Iranians. We will implement the changes to the waiver program so as not to interfere with legitimate business interests of Iran. I mean, really bending over backwards to help a country that has called us the enemy of mankind. In the Middle East, when you see somebody like this in a negotiation, bending over backwards to help the enemy, what's the impression that that enemy has of you?
This is in the old tribal politics that my family escaped from the Assad regime and others from every country. Those that are weak get decimated. It gives them the green light to advance and continue to hegemonize the region. That's why this $150 billion that we're releasing is going to continue to flow to the axis of terror that includes Assad, that includes Russia, and others that are trying to simply gobble up the Middle East and spread the militancy and the ideology of Islamism from the Shia side that has been also allowed to spread from the Sunni side. And we're fueling our own demise and the own threats to our security, not only in the Middle East, but to Israel and our own security domestically in the West.
Yeah, and very quickly, Zuhdi, even in the best of circumstances, when you give something to your enemy, you expect something back in return. In this case, we're getting nothing back. In fact, the Iranians are already violating the spirit of the deal with these missile tests.
We get nothing, and it just breaks my heart, and I think it's breaking the heart of every Syrian American to see how much we've given away as Syria is being decimated by Iranian troops and others, and we get a lack of security. The security we've had against Iranian radicalism over the past 20 years is now going to disappear. So not only are we getting nothing, we are going to open the green light to threats to our homeland that are going to be exponentially worse than they've ever been.
Well, despite all that, happy holidays. Zuhdi Jasser, thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you.
Well, we're following others.